In front of us, we have the components and parts of a new system that we're going to be building over the next week or two, which is going to be centered around the BitFenix Prodigy M case. So as you can see from the left, we have the BitFenix Prodigy M. We'll have a closer look at that in a minute. And inside the Prodigy M, we're going to be having a bunch of Corsair and ASRock parts, which we're going to introduce you to now. So for cooling, we're going to have the Corsair H80i liquid cooler. For power supply, we're going to have the Corsair AX860i, which will power a couple of video cards. We've got a couple of choices that we're going to be doing some testing on, some NVIDIA and AMD cards. For storage, we have a bunch of SanDisk SSDs thanks to SanDisk. Two 240 gig Extreme 2s, which are going to be sitting in RAID 0. That's going to be our OS drive, and then we've got a 480 gig drive that's going to be storage for games. Games are getting massive now. Titanfall and Battlefield 4 pretty much take up like 100 gig of storage these days. So that's the storage side of things. We're going to be not maybe putting in every single fan that you see here, but we're going to be having a few of these fans. So we're going to replace the stock fans with these that BitFenix sent over. So a couple of Spectra Pro 120 mils that you can see here. So we're going to replace as many of these inside the BitFenix itself, Prodigy M itself, sorry. And we've also got one of BitFenix's Recon fan controllers, which can connect to mobile devices, which is pretty cool. So we're going to be testing out that in the Prodigy M build that we have coming up in the next couple of weeks. As for CPU motherboard, we got this a couple of months ago, but we haven't had the chance to test it yet. Which is the ASRock Z87M OC formula motherboard. So you can see here, Z87M OC formula. This motherboard can do Crossfire and SLI. Supports up to 32 gig of RAM, so we're going to be putting in most likely 16 gig of Corsair RAM. We haven't decided which yet, which is why we haven't shown it off in this video. But this motherboard, we've put in our Intel Core i7-4770K, which we'll probably test at about 4.5 gigahertz. And then we'll plug in our SSDs, do our RAID goodness, and do a bunch of testing. This board actually has purity sound here that you can see. We'll take a couple of close-up shots of that later. But yeah, just a quick tease of what we're going to be building in the next week or so. All centered around the BitFenix Prodigy M. So the Prodigy M, we'll do a quick overview now. The old Prodigy looked exactly the same as this, which we actually built a system in last year. And then this BitFenix were talking to us about making changes in late 2013, 2014 to the Prodigy M, to the Prodigy case, and renaming it to Prodigy M. So before, where your motherboard would actually sit about halfway, and the PCI cards would sit here, and obviously you'd slot your card in like that into the case. Everything's been switched up sideways, so now you've got your rear exhaust fan down here. You've actually got an exhaust fan at the bottom that we'll have take a closer look at later. And we've also got the PCI Express slot, which will actually sit here. So your video card will actually send its heat right up into the top and side here. So it's a bit better a layout than previously. But we'll have a closer look at that in another video. Thanks for watching this one so far. We will have another one in a couple of days. Thanks for watching.